Good morning everybody, welcome to today's Bitcoin technical analysis video. Hopefully I can squeeze this into less than 5 minutes, keep it nice and sweet and short and sweet. And as we see right now, as we're looking on the 15-minute chart, is that we've just been slowly grinding up the stairs, and now we're about to hit some resistance right now. Well, we'll look into that as we get further on in the video. But what we'll do for now is always zoom out, and we'll go back and look at the bigger picture. So we'll get onto the monthly chart and look at some levels on there. I already have my monthly levels marked out, and you can pretty much see there that we are currently in this range. It all works. This monthly and this monthly. So currently squeezed between these two. What we'll do is, if we just look at what's happened here, you know, we've had this rise, the pullback, kept on pushing higher to all-time highs. We've had another pullback, and what we're looking here is the market structure is that currently we're still getting higher highs, higher lows. As we stand, that is currently another higher low unless it's taken out. But the highs, to keep this market structure, we've got some distance for this to keep going. So at the minute, with this monthly candle as we stand, it's not really looking very bullish, I don't think, right now. But at the minute we are still in an upward market structure technically. So what we'll do is we'll come off the monthly and we'll drop down to the weekly level. We'll have a look at the levels that we've already got marked out. And you can see that currently we're within this range, the high at about 46,800, and once we turned from that point we came down and we hit it pretty much to the dollar, 37,750, and currently got a little bounce at the minute of around 5% as we stand right now. And if we just drop down and go to a lower time frame again, we'll go down to the daily and we'll see what levels we have in here on the daily levels. And as you can see, we've just formed a fresh daily down here at 38,000. with the daily resistance at 40,414. So we're in between these current levels as we stand. These are all strong levels, so until they're broken, we would be taking an interest at these levels if we can get any more confluence in these levels and see if it's worth a trade. So they're the high time frame levels that we've got. Just going to look into what parallel channels. I like to trade parallel channels quite a lot, and if we just have a look and see what channels we are trading within right now. I've gone right back out to the monthly. In fact, I will drop that to the weekly, and just to show that we are currently trading within this really high time frame parallel channel, upward sloping. We've got the touches there, came down, touched it to the dollar. So on the really high time frame, we are at the lower end of the channel, so it remains to be seen. Are we going to push back up for another rotation up to the highs, or are we going to in fact break down? But such a high time frame, you know, it could take weeks, months to find that out. And then we're going to drop down onto the daily, and we do have a parallel channel currently on the daily. As we can see, it's been respected on the upper trend line and the bottom trend line. Same again, we are currently at the bottom side of the parallel channel. Not quite come down and made the touch yet, and it remains to be seen whether we can hold this parallel channel again for maybe another rotation to the upside. And then if we go down to the 4 hour, we do have another parallel channel that we're currently trading in on a smaller time frame. I use this pivot point up here to create this, and this one and this one gave me the 3 pivot points. We came down, we touched it perfectly, got the bounce, straight back down, and it held again. And currently that's where we're getting our 5% bounce that we just looked at a second ago. So always like to keep an eye on my parallel channels. And if we have a look, we're going to go looking at some Fibonacci levels now. So what we'll do is we'll have a look out on the monthly again, and if we take the Fibonacci retracement tool from the top to the bottom, you can see that we have been rejecting off the 382. When you get this steep type of move, you always do tend to get resistance at the 382. And we've had a fair size pullback from the 382. I mean, this is down 20% this month on the monthly candle from that 382. So it's always nice to be aware of that 382 on a strong trend, and it remains to be seen where we go from here. Take that off, just drop down to the daily. Got some Fibonacci levels on the daily, and we've got the move down, and then we've got this sideways action. So from the bottom down here, I get the tool right, taking it from the bottom to the highs, and what we managed to get there was the 618, a nice bounce off the 618. We did have some confluence there. Back up to the 382, another rejection on the smaller time 382. Came back down, took out the liquidity, and currently got a nice little bounce going. Like I say, of around 5%. If we just get rid of that for a second. And then we have another Fibonacci pull, not from the very low, but this slightly higher low, taking it from the bottom to the top, showing that we have got a bounce. You can take these pulls from different points, so it's worth taking your Fibonacci pulls from different areas just to see if they line up with anything else, a daily level, a weekly, monthly level, or value areas, anything like that. And what we can see here is on this pull, we have been breaking down on the 618. Nice bounce back up at the minute. But what's interesting on this one is this level down here. If I just put on this liquidity label here, what we've got here is lots of people's stop losses are going to be sat right below these levels. So it just remains to be seen if are we going to come down and sweep down and then push back up. If it does that, then you'll have grabbed all the liquidity, taken all the stop losses out, got everybody really bearish, and then if we can reclaim the 786, it does give us the fuel to maybe push on higher then. So I am always wary that we've come down so far there, but we've left all that liquidity untapped, and if we want a good move up, we really need to be taking that liquidity. I'd like that to be taken, and if it does, it could be a nice entry for a nice swing trade long position if that happens. Obviously you've got to watch it at the time. So we'll turn the liquidity off for a second, and then I'm just looking at some fixed ranges to see where all the volume has been traded. I'll just reset the chart a second. So another confluence that we had on this bottom, which was, if you remember, a weekly level. We had a weekly level at 37,754, which we tapped and got a lovely bounce. We do have this fixed range pull from here, from the 8th of January, and the value area low gave us some confluence here, and it didn't close below the value area low. So another reason why we could have taken a long trade from down here once we saw this reaction. I will just turn off the weekly a second, and then on a higher, not a higher time frame, but a bigger pull, taking a bigger range on the fixed range from the beginning of December. Then we can see that we've got the point of control up at 41,900 that it has been rejected for in the past, and it's struggled to get through it. If you want some further upside, we need to be reclaiming these levels. These are resistance until broken. And then if we do break down, and indeed if we take out this liquidity, but we don't pull back up, then we need to be looking down at this level here for further downside. And just take the fixed ranges off for a second. Just a couple of other things that that I've got here is this falling wedge that we're currently in right now. If just get it sized up a bit better, and you can see that we're in this lovely falling wedge pattern, which is kind of at resistance as we speak. These can be funny things to trade because most people technically think that we're going to break up. That's what this pattern usually gives us, but knowing Bitcoin, it could break down and then pump. That's what it likes to do. Or it may be that you do get a break only to go and drop it all down. So these never work out like you think. So trade with caution when you're trading with these wedges on Bitcoin. And then I think I've got this is an old rising wedge that I just have on my chart. I don't trade off this in particular, but you did have the rising wedge that was expected to break down, which it did. Usually I target the 618 on that. So if I was going to put a Fibonacci channel on there, we hit the 618, we bounced to the 382, and we have kept moving lower. And it's because of this breaking this 618 within here that I'm just cautious with this rise up at the minute, because I just think there's so much liquidity down here, this 786. It might be, but just take them off for a minute and just look at this liquidity in a bit more detail. So yeah, so I'll just get the magnet on. So we have liquidity there, we have liquidity there, and liquidity there. I'd like to see it all being taken. If it was going to, if we're going to get any move to the upside, I'd like it to take all this out first. I just don't like it leaving all this liquidity here. And like I said, you have to be careful, because it could be that we just break down and we don't manage to take the liquidity and then move on back up. So what we'll do is just going to go down into a 15-minute time frame and look on a really see what's happened just recently. And we've had this huge dump. Then we're trying to fight and claw his way all the way back up. And if we just use the Fibonacci tool a minute and just let's have a look at where we're at. So we've come into this area, the 618 and the 66. I'll just put that on a 4 hour a minute. So yeah, we're coming to resistance right now as we speak, and we do know we've got the falling wedge there as well. So there is a good chance that, do we break out from here, or is this a good area to look for maybe a day trade short position? Possibly. But you obviously need to do your own research. I'm just giving you some information about what I'm looking at right now. And I think that's it for today. Hopefully I didn't go on for too long. I tried to do it within 5 minutes. I'm not sure how long I've been, but thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.